Your writing process should be as unique as you and your story. Hello, hello. Welcome back to Chats and Chapters. I am Caitlin Howarth, book editor, story fanatic, and today we are going to go over 10 ways to plot and plan your story so your writing process can be as unique as you and your story. Before we jump in, if you are looking for an extra pair of eyes on your manuscript, I have a few more spots for this year. The link to work with me and see pricing and everything like that is going to be in the description below. And if you are still in the drafting phase and unsure about your self-editing journey and you need support, my revision roadmap program starts on June 22nd. You can sign up for the waitlist and join the program now. The waitlist opens today and I am so excited. So the only way to join the program is to join the waitlist. So join the waitlist, learn more about it, all types of things, and then if you decide not to join, you just don't sign up. It's super simple. Getting into how to plot and plan your story. So if you didn't know, I was a theater geek growing up. My stepdad, when I was a kid, was the technical theater teacher. He was the tech director at our local theater. And I grew up behind the scenes in the theater. I grew up building sets. I never wanted to be on stage. I am too camera shy for that, which is hilarious now when you think about it. But I built a lot of sets and we had to build a lot of flats. So I built a lot of theater flats and I am pretty OCD and particular about everything. And all of my screws were perfectly placed. All the planks were it was beautiful. But here's the thing. No one knew. No, you can't see it. It's not something that it's the underside. Everything's under it. So you can't see it. So technically it didn't really matter. It did the same job as all of the other flats that anyone else made. But I was always really proud that mine were most beautiful, but no one else cared. And that is the same with your writing. So it isn't really important how you get there as long as you get there and the process worked for you. Not to say that no one cares about your process or anything like that. Not to say that it's not important, but it doesn't really matter what process you use as long as it works for you and it gets the job done. So today we're gonna go over 10 ways of how to plot and plan your story. Maybe you use one of them, it sounds really great. Maybe you've tried a few of these in the past and you're looking for another one. So the first one is going to be the backwards outline. And this is where you start with the end and work backwards. So if you already have an ending in mind, you already have how everything's gonna end up, kind of where your character is. Maybe you want to do a series and you have an idea of how the first book could end, but that's all you have. Then you start with the end and you work to the beginning. The second way is that you can do mountain moments. And these are the main things that have to happen in your story. They're the mountains. They're the big peaks that if they're not in your story, then your entire story would collapse. So it might be you have 5 mountain moments. It might be that you have 10 mountain moments. It doesn't really matter how many you have, but these are like the big main things, the mountains that your plot has to climb up and roll down on the other side. However you want to look at it, these are the main things that have to happen in your story. The third way that you can plot or plan your story is mind map. You can make it colorful. We've all seen them. They're really fun. I like them. You make it colorful. You color coordinate. You explore things. You do all sorts of things. You connect things differently. You separate other things. This is a very creative, hands-on way to plot and plan out your story is just create a mind map. You can do it with colored pencils, markers, pen and paper. You can do it online. I'm sure there's probably an app for it or something. The fourth way is the zero draft. And this is you write your story without any goal. Whatever comes to mind, you just vomit your story on the page, honestly. That is what this is. You get it on the page. It isn't a rough draft. It is not a full story. This is a very, 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 very basic zero draft. Zero. Bottom, minimum effort, just get whatever comes to mind on the page, and then you go back in, expand, tweak it, and pull the threads apart and build out the full story. The fifth way to plot and plan your story is the as you go. And this is exactly how it sounds. So you brainstorm and or outline chapter 1, and then you write chapter 1. And then however chapter 1 ends, you think, because it ended there, then therefore chapter 2, and you brainstorm chapter 2, and then you write chapter 2. And then once chapter 2 is over, you think about, okay, chapter 2 ended like that. Therefore, chapter 3 has to start like this. And you write your story as you go. This won't work for everyone. It would never work for me, but it is a way. You're still doing the planning. You're not just willy-nilly going through it, but you're planning it as you go. And this can work for some people. If you have a strong idea, roll with it and just outline and write as you go, flipping back and forth. The sixth way that you can plot or plan your story is write the blurb first. Write the back of the book blurb. What are the most important points? What do readers need to know to pick up your book? What is your book about? What are you actually writing for? Write the blurb, have that, and then from there, same with a lot of these, you just have the bones of it and you expand from there and really get into the nitty-gritty detail about how exactly all of that is going to unravel. The seventh way that you can plot and plan your story is pen to paper. Take it old school. Grab a notebook, write down all of your ideas, your character names, scenes that you want to include, plot twists, everything. And this is something you have to, I suggest a small, light, thin notebook, so that you can carry it with you so that an idea is never uncaptured. I don't know what author said it. It might be Stephen King. I don't know. It's a pretty big author. But one author was like, don't write anything down because if it's a good enough thought, it's never going to leave you. And I strongly disagree with that because I've had really good thoughts and they've poofed in the air because I haven't written them down. So pen to paper, grab a notebook, do your brainstorming that way, figure it out. Once again, it's you can create it into a mind map. You can, blend two of these, carry it with you. Everything for this, it's this notebook becomes your story Bible. And it sounds really fun to me. I plan to write my story by starting in a notebook because I love pen and paper. The eighth way that you can plan and plot your story is a plot grid. So use a spreadsheet. I love spreadsheets. If you know anything about me, I love spreadsheets. And start with what you know. And this is where you can brainstorm. You can make different sheets, make a column for your plot, make a column for chapters, your time, POV, character arcs. And this really allows you to see everything at once. And you can have your full plot grid on one, have your plot, your characters, your chapters, time, POV, all of that kind of stuff on one thing. And then you can also make a different sheet, a different spreadsheet for any notes or any brainstorming ideas or anything that you have. So you can have everything in one location. And using a plot grid is great because it's another one of those things where when you have everything filled out, you can see where things happen and you can see if there's a plot hole here, if a character disappears. It's very visually appealing and useful when it's used correctly and to its full potential. So definitely explore the spreadsheet option. The ninth way that you can plot and plan your story is voice memo. Voice memo that up. Word vomit all your thoughts into your voice memo app. You can organize them. You can title them if you want, so it's easier to go through them later. But just blabber away all of your ideas. There's a really big movement, I see it all the time on social media, of going for a walk and pretending you're on the phone, but you're really just talking to yourself. I've done this. I will grab my voice memo app and I will go through, if I'm checking in with a boss, today I have to do 30 pages of this line edit. I need to do 51 pages of my developmental edit. And I also need to record a TikTok. I think I'm going to do this, that, or the other. There is something to be said for one, moving your body, which is, you do whatever you want to do. It's your life. But two, actually saying things out loud and processing these things and then going back and listening to it. And then from there, you finalize it, you tweak it. The 10th and final way to plot and plan your story is more visual. Visualize, Pinterest it up. Search for vibes and aesthetics and images that you want for your story. Maybe you have an idea for your story to take place in a library. I love it. Books about books. It's great. So Pinterest a few libraries that you want for the vibes. Do you want really like dark and moody, or do you want a really bright library? Are you writing a fantasy with witches and elves? How are those going to look? If you have some images, it might just drum up some ideas. And then just random things. If there's just random stuff that you like on Pinterest, and you never know what's going to spark inspiration. You might just see something and think to include it, and it could become like the main seed of your story. Definitely play with ideas, play with pictures, play with spreadsheets, paper, mind maps, all sorts of stuff. You might have to try it a few times before you are like, oh yeah, this is totally what I should be doing. But play with it, and happy plotting and planning. If you are currently plotting and planning and you think one of these 10 things might work, let me know below in the comments. I'd love to hear if any of these were helpful. Before you go, if you are once again looking for an extra pair of eyes on your manuscript, the link to work with me is in the description below. And if you are in the drafting phase and you are unsure about your self-editing journey, or you have done self-edits in the past, but you didn't really have fun with them, you were a bit chaotic in your approach, my revision roadmap program is for you. We start on June 22nd. The waitlist is open now, so join the waitlist and learn more. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.